Hey guys, Mark McKellar here with Live Anabolic, and today I want to show you how to build a big chest at home. And I got a couple of buddies here with me working out in my garage gym that I built here because of the virus. And a lot of people don't realize how much you can really accomplish at home. Matter of fact, I used to work out at the gym exclusively all the time, and I've kind of gotten used to this little work at home thing. And there are a ton of fantastic exercises you can do to build a really big, impressive chest. So I got Toby here with me, and Cade is another good friend that work out with me on kind of a semi-regular basis. And we're gonna go through a bunch of different exercises today that you can do at home. And if you don't have all the equipment I have, which is pretty negligible, I don't have a whole lot of stuff here, we're gonna show you how to do some body weight only stuff at home that you can use as substitution exercises for some of the things that we're doing. So follow along, guys. I think you're gonna get a lot out of this. All right, so instead of just me telling you all the great ideas that I have, these guys know what they're doing, obviously. They're in great shape, and so I wanted to kind of pick their brain on some of the exercises that they like to do for their chest. And these guys obviously are in fantastic shape, so they know what they're talking about. So, Cade?
One of my favorite is bench press, whether it be with a barbell or a dumbbell. I always get a really good pump in, and I like to go super heavy. I don't like to do a lot of repetition just because I'm lazy. I don't like to do a lot of stuff. So the heavier the weight, the better for me.
Okay, now guys at home, all right, a lot of you guys are my age, Toby's age, all right? So when you're Cade's age, no problem, all right? Go heavy, low reps, okay? But when you get older, you're more likely to cause an injury, okay, if you really go heavy like that and only shoot for, 7 or 8 reps. So that's a great idea. When you're younger, I'm all for it. As older guys, higher reps, lower weight, you can still build a big chest. So we don't have a barbell here. This is an at-home video, okay?
So we have to improvise.
You bet. So a lot of guys have dumbbells at home, and I want you to just demonstrate some dumbbell chest presses here for us.
Okay. Do you want to help with that bench?
No, you're set, right? Let's just do some incline.
You want to do incline?
Yeah, I can do incline. Okay.
A little lightweight.
All right.
So right now, I'm feeling activation in the upper chest area, but really focusing on squeezing at the top and getting a good stretch down at the bottom. Maybe hold it for a second at top, hold it for a few seconds down below.
All right, so guys, kind of look at the tempo here. I mean, you'll hear me talk about tempo a lot. He's controlling the weight down and up. A lot of guys try to bounce at the bottom and use momentum, okay, to get that weight started up again. He's not doing that. He's doing the proper technique. And of course, when you do it this way with the proper technique, you're far, far less likely to hurt yourself, okay? These young guys don't typically get hurt, okay, unless they do crazy heavy weights. But man, this is the way. And the other thing is, because he's doing it slow and controlled, he's putting the muscles under tension for a much longer time. So remember, time under tension is a really important concept that I talk about on a regular basis. So it's not just how much you lift, it's how long you're lifting.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Woo. So guys, let's say you don't have a bench, okay, at home. What can you do? All right, so you can lay on the floor and do the exact same movement, okay? Now you're not going to be targeting your upper chest because it's a flat movement, okay? But you can still get in a really good chest workout. Now, the problem is when you're on the floor, your elbows can't go behind your back, okay, like they were with Cade. He's actually bringing the dumbbells down so far that his elbows are actually going behind the plane of his back, which is great. You get a bigger range of motion. All right, it's fine, okay, if you don't have that ability at your house because you don't have a bench, but there is a little trick. Take one of your big overstuffed pillows off of your couch or chair, put it on the ground, lay on the pillow, okay, and then that pillow will raise your chest and your back up off the ground a few inches, okay? You don't need much, okay? If you're just a few inches off the ground, your back, when you go down with the dumbbells, guess what? You'll be able to get your elbows a few inches behind the plane of your back, which will give you a bigger range of motion and you get a lot more out of it. So that is the trick. All right, Mr. Buttle here, what do you like to do?
So what I like to do, since I'm twice as old as Kate here, us older guys, if we're going to start a chest workout at home, I like to start out with to stretch my chest out with a dumbbell fly from the bench press position. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to start out with a lighter weight so I can really get stretched out. Because like I said, older guys like us, we can't start doing the heavy exercises at first. You got to get the chest stretched out. So let me go ahead and show you what I do.
Now guys, what Toby's doing right now is he's adjusting these dumbbells. I love these dumbbells. These are adjustable. All you gotta do is turn the handles and you can change the weight from 5 pounds all the way up to 50 pounds in 5-pound increments. It's really, really cool. So it's a great investment for you guys. I know they're a little more expensive, but it's well worth it because just these 2 little stacks is the equivalent of having about 10 different pairs of dumbbells. All right.
Save a lot of real estate.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with 15 pounds, which isn't a heck of a lot in the scheme of things, but it'll get me nice and warmed up. So what I'm basically going to do is get on the bench here, and there's 2 ways to do this. You can either keep your feet on the ground like this, or you can raise your feet and keep them off the ground. But I'm going to start with my legs on the feet on the ground, raise the dumbbells up. And what we're going to do, slowly drop the weight down by my side. I'm going to bring it back up. Now, if you notice, I'm not going to bring it all the way back up because that's going to release a lot of tension in my arms. So I'm just going to go back and forth, real nice, real easy, just keeping it nice and loose. And each time I'm going to try to go back down a little bit lower, just to get those pecs stretched out. And after a while, you can feel the tension in your pecs. Now try not to use your arms as much to bring the weights up. If you can, try to squeeze your pecs together to help you bring the weights back up. And I'm just going to do this nice and easy. And again, I'm not going to bring the weights straight up at this point. And each time I'm going to try to bring the weights down a little bit more. And if you're just starting out with these, you may not be able to go as deep as a lot of other people. But
all right, so we want to jump in real quick. Keep going. All right. So same thing with this exercise, all right? If you're on the floor doing it, you can't bring your elbows behind your back, so you don't get quite as big of a range of motion. So if you can get a pillow off the couch or chair, put your back on that, you'll be able to get that full range of motion that Toby's getting with a bench here. Now, just like Cade, look how slow he's doing this, guys. All right, so when you do a real slow tempo like this, you're making the weight artificially heavier, okay? Which means, guys, you don't need a lot of weight at home to get a really good pump. Just real slow, longer time under tension, perfect form, and get that mind-muscle connection going, and you'll be able to accomplish a ton at the house.
My last one. Here we go. Perfect. Feels good. Get the blood flowing.
All right, my turn. One of my favorite exercises at the gym is the cable crossover machine. I love doing flies. I don't know why. I just get a fantastic pump, and I can really get that mind-muscle connection going. Now, I've recreated that here at my gym, okay, in my garage, because I bought several sets of resistance bands. Most of you guys haven't had this, okay? I set it up so that I have resistance bands on both sides, okay, of my tire rack here, okay? So these are separated by about 10 or 12 feet here. I'm gonna step away and I'm gonna show you how to do some flies with resistance bands that most of you guys can do at home, but you're gonna have to get 2 complete sets, all right? Now, guys, this movement here literally feels exactly like it does at the gym, okay? On those really expensive cable crossover machines. I've priced those things before. Those things are about $10,000 to $12,000, all right? These resistance bands were $35 per set, okay? All right? So, if you buy 2 sets like I did here, you're gonna love all the different exercises you can do, all right? Now, when I pull together, if you hold your hands right here and squeeze them together, you'll be able to feel man, a ton of tension in your chest, okay?
And what part of your chest are you specifically
Man, I'm feeling this really, when I'm squeezing at the bottom here, okay? I'm feeling it in the middle part of my chest, okay? So, now what happens if you don't have 2 complete sets of bands like I do, all right? Means you got 1 set, all right? Here we go. Now I have these attached to the ceiling. Most of you guys will have this anchored to your door, and it could be at the top of the door, the middle of the door, at the bottom, okay? 3 different positions will target 3 different areas of your chest. So let me show you how you guys would do it at home if the anchor was way up high in the door, okay? So basically this is like a decline fly, okay? When the anchor's way up high. All right. I'm feeling this in my lower part of my pecs, okay? Now I'm still working really the entire chest region, but this does put more emphasis on the lower part. Now guys, I'm going to show you how we can change things up, all right? Put the anchor at your house down at the lower part, okay, of the door. Okay, so guys, when you put the anchor down low, okay, you're at a mechanical disadvantage, so you're not going to be able to use as much resistance. So I had to drop some of the bands, okay, and you will too, okay. So pretend like the anchor's at the bottom of the door, and I might be doing low to high flies, okay. Guess what? Now I'm feeling it more in the upper part of my chest. Now really, it's still working all of your chest muscles.
So Mark, how high do you want to bring your arms up to?
I like to bring them up really just to eye level here, guys.
All right.
You know, if you come up real high, I think you start de-emphasizing the chest and start working your shoulders.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. So right about face level is a really good way to do it. And just like every other exercise that Kate and Toby were doing, man, it's just slow, controlled movement. Gives you a much better pump, and it really does activate more muscle fibers. And of course, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get more muscle fibers involved, because guess what? When you damage more muscle fibers, they're going to repair and grow overnight. They come back a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and that's how we grow our chest.
All right, guys, so one of my other favorite exercises is push-ups. And if you're like me and 50 just is too easy because you're super light, you can tack on more weight up here if you have a bench or some surface that is elevated higher than obviously the ground. By putting your feet on this elevated surface, we now have more weight on our upper body, so we don't have to do as many reps. Now this is probably one of the oldest exercises in the book, if not the first, besides running. Decline push-ups can go a long ways, and you don't have to do a lot of them. Solid, slow movements will keep your tension under time, correct? Longer.
Yeah.
Squeeze at the top, pause at the bottom if you want, and just rep it out.
All right, I'm glad Kate's doing those and not me. That's a much harder way to do a push-up. So guys, if y'all are advanced at home, just give it a try, okay? It never hurts to try some of these things. You might only be able to do 2, okay? I don't care. Just experiment, see what works for you. Now, Toby is going to show you another version of a push-up that's much easier and actually targets a different part of your chest.
Correct. All right, so what I'm going to show for you, instead of putting my feet up here, I'm going to start my push-ups with my hands on the bench. You want to stay in there so the bench won't move on?
Okay.
There you go. Just assume a regular push-up position. You're going to go down and up, just like you normally would. Try to get your arms perpendicular to the floor, if you can. Up and down, nice and easy. No rush to do it. in a controlled manner. And after a while, you do enough of these, trust me, you're going to feel it, because I'm feeling it right now. If you can only do 5 of these, fine. If you can't, if you can do 10, do 10.
Where exactly in your chest are you feeling it,
I'm
Toby?
feeling this in my triceps and in my upper chest.
So that's a good point Toby just made there. Guys, even though we're focusing on our chest, this is a compound movement, okay? So we're working lots of different muscles because we're moving multiple joints at the same time. And push-ups happen to target the chest, but we get a lot of our front delts and your triceps involved. So it's a fantastic all-around upper body exercise. All right, for you guys out there that find either one of these techniques a little bit too difficult, I want to show you how to do it from a total beginner perspective, and nobody's better at showing beginner push-ups than Mark McKillier. Okay, so guys, anybody can do this, and if you have a real tough time with doing push-ups, trust me, you start doing this, you can do this several times a week, and it's not long before you're going to be able to move to the head elevated position, and then you can go back to a traditional standard push-up, which is even more difficult than putting your hands up high. So here we go. You're on your knees, guys, instead of your toes. Simple as this.
Is there a certain distance when you keep your hands apart?
Man, guys, you can experiment, okay? I like to put my hands just a little wider than shoulder width, okay? That's kind of the traditional way to do a push-up, and it's the way that engages the most muscle fibers, so it's the easiest way, all right? If this gets too easy for you, you can try with a wide stance, okay? This is really gonna focus on the chest. And then, of course, the more difficult way, and it takes some of the stress off the chest and puts it more on your triceps, or diamond push-ups, where you get your hands real close together. Now, even for me, guys, on my knees, this is not easy because you put all that weight on your triceps and just a little bit on the chest. So, guys, knee push-ups are a fantastic way to start if you can't do the regular push-ups. All right, did you like that? When you build a big chest, you can figure out how to make those pecs bounce, all right? Chicks love that, right? All right, chest is a really cool looking muscle, okay? It's one of those muscle groups that are so big that you can actually see it when you're wearing a shirt. You don't have to have your shirt off to really show off that muscle group. All right, guys, hopefully you got some great information out of this video. And if you did, be sure and share it with some of your buddies, because I guarantee you know dozens of guys that need to work on their chest. And then also, hit that little thumbs up like button. I really appreciate it. Post some comments below. And don't forget, you gotta subscribe to this channel so you constantly get new videos from Gary and myself. We're bringing you tons of great information, not just about building muscle, but about nutrition, losing body fat, and just getting in better health overall. And guys, come on. You're not gonna be able to build a big, impressive chest overnight. That means you have to always stick with it and never give up on yourself.